Hello everyone, this is Saif from Ura Studio and welcome to our fourth devlog. Today I'm happy to share with you the creation of the world of Kopno and specifically the first plane biome. I'm really happy to see how it's taking shape, how it's starting to show the idea we have. And for that purpose I invited my co-founder, Houssem, who's also the creative mind behind all of what you see. We are going just to talk and roam in the world a bit, the challenges, his ideas on how he's doing all of this. Hello, Hussein.
Hello, Saif. Hello, everyone.
So, Hussein, let's go straight to the point. I have just
Mhm,
few questions to ask you, and feel free to respond the way you want. So,
mhm.
my biggest question is, what is your intake on developing a classic biome like the plain biome to make it unique? Because a plain biome, you can see
Yeah,
this in a lot of games. What makes us unique from the difference?
yeah. A classic plane could be just plain if you don't do it specifically or can add something particular about it. Our core idea was to weaponize the plane greatest strength, its openness. In a normal game, you would find a plane as an open field, and it means usually safety and visibility. And so, for us, however, that mm, mean exposure. There is nowhere to hide. So we wanted to create that feeling. You would see it as an open place, an open beauty and calmness, but we want to take that point itself and turn it around. So when level design, the idea was to make that feeling playable. We used subtle, almost imperceptible terrain deformation or shallow depression that feel like something massive sleeping out there. Resources are placed in a clearing that feel too open, forcing the player to choose between their need for supply and their instinct to stay near the cover of the forest edge. True dread, in our case, won't come from a monster chasing you necessarily, but from the constant quiet question: why this beautiful open place completely empty? So we are trying to take that clarity or trying to turn it into a threat, and that is our central approach in creating a plane.
Yeah, I remember we talked about how it's a survival game set in a dark fantasy RPG, and we thought, okay, it's the plain biome, the first one where you will have your settlement, so it should be
Yeah,
peaceful but also dangerous. And I agree
exactly.
on this idea of that openness, that emptiness. I hope with a good kind of music, it will make the player
Yeah.
feel the dread we want. Um, and so far, we are developing the game in Unreal 5 as 5.6, as we already
Yeah.
said. What are the challenges inside the Unreal Engine that you are facing right now?
Uh, let's start with the good, and it is very good, honestly. Unreal, as you know, is a visual beast with Nanite and Lumen and all the technical stuff that they have been adding lately. We can build a scene that looks like a pre-rendered cinematic already, and it runs in real time on my, very standard, totally not high-end RTX 3050,
Yeah.
and it's honestly a bit ridiculous how good it looks. But our biggest headache right now is building a handcrafted world, specifically placing and editing assets. In a program like Blender, it's intuitive. You grab a rock, you move it, you rotate it, and so it's direct and fast. In real, you are often fighting the engine a little bit. The translation, the rotation, and scale widget can feel, clunky sometimes. So it's a bit paradoxical in working in Unreal. It's built to create a breathtaking world, but the basic acts of place and thousand object can feel overwhelming sometimes and unfriendly. So, but again, we are trying to constantly balance in between the engine desire for procedural systemic placement and our vision for a carefully curated um, create in every corner of the map. So we are wrestling a beautiful, powerful, but sometimes stubborn beast, and but it's absolutely worth it.
Okay, okay, yes, because we hear a lot of people complaining right now about the Unreal Engine, even if a lot of big companies are moving toward it. But yeah, you showed me a bit of your work. It's something very, very difficult to handcraft a word when you have to place, use the tool you have to place every object, or maybe at least displace them from time to time to make them unique. So my last question,
Yes.
Hossein, what are we are preparing the playtest, as I said, in Q1 2026 in this biome. What can we expect from it?
As we have said before, this project is our attempt to craft a different kind of experience, a double A game that goes back to the root of storytelling and creating worlds that feel alive, that feel habited by living creature. We feel that sense of mystery and environmental narrative has got a bit lost lately, replaced by overwhelming checklist. You have to go there and check mark and also and so. So in this case, we are not just testing a biome, we are testing a philosophy in this playtest. We have built this open world not as massive map to fill with icon, uh, but as a single cohesive story to be read through the landscape itself. So the environment and the nature around you is part of the world and should be felt alive. The plane is our first chapter. When you play it, we need to know, does the world speaks to you? Do you feel a compulsion to explore based on curiosity, not just a quest marker? Your experience um, be the foundation for a new layer of level design. Our ambition, as you know, is to pioneer a world where the design isn't about just guiding you from point B to point from point A to point B, but making you feel the story and the hidden truth of a place.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I guess it was challenging for us to put this queue like yeah. You when you see somewhere you want to go, it can be a small tree, it can be a small arch, but it's always difficult to leave the player and not hand guide him, even if many people are asking for that. But it's always challenging to know how to do things in a correct way.
Mm,
Also
exactly.
in the playtest, I hope we will see where as you said, once we need to see where the player stops, when he freezes, when he do things, because this kind of data will allow us to not only to improve the world, but also to understand how many players react to this environment. Well, thank you, Hussein, for this talk. I know you have a lot of work right now because you are rushing to create the Steam capsule. We are rushing to
Yeah,
create to finalize this biome. Mm,
yeah,
It's a small biome. We aim to have, let's say, big, but not empty big, and that's why we are trying to do even the playtest in a good way. Also, as a reminder, the playtest will be focused on combat and exploration, a bit of crafting. So it's not really the core game loop, but these are the mechanics we want to test first with players and see where the feedback goes. So
yeah.
I hope everything goes well. Thank you again, Hussein, for joining me.
My pleasure.
As usual, guys, please, your feedback is very important for us. Don't hesitate to support us, to follow our social medias, and to comment, follow, and say what you think about everything. Thank you. Bye bye.